Mr. Gassert, East Street Corners. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Doing great.
Good. Tom Ginn here from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Mouthful. Oconomowoc. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting community. We have about 15 lakes in about an 8-mile radius from where we're at. So it's called Lake Country. And they talk about Minnesota having a lot of lakes, but Wisconsin has more lakes than Minnesota. So
now we all know, right?
You all know a little history, a little trivia, a little nonsense there. But anyway, hey, I just want to welcome everybody that's out there. Tag and share today. Make any comments. Today we're going to be doing something to honor a previous guest we had on, and that was Peter Bott and his brother did their constitutional oratorical speech with rec sites. We did some coaching. He did some coaching and recommendations. But this last Saturday, Mark, was the district championships and the state championship for the American Legion Constitutional High School Oracle.
Isn't that post 91, right?
Post 91. Our candidate was Peter Bott.
That's outstanding.
Congratulations to Peter. He won the state. There was two elements. In the morning was the competition of 13 other wonderful young people.
Right.
Talented, skilled speakers, did a lot of homework, did a lot of research and study to do their presentation. This is not an easy competition. It's not just about your stage presence and all that. It goes a lot more into that. So this is the judges sheet. I'm just going to go through some of the things that they judge them on. Content. Was the speech original, fresh, and direct, applying the contestants' knowledge? Did the contestant skillfully select examples, descriptions, analogies, and specific data? Was the speech logical, well-organized, and developed? Did the contestant show a comprehensive knowledge of the subject matter? So that was the content section. Then the speaking skills, three points here. Did the contestant use volume, rate of pitch, and dictation effectively? Rate the contestant style, language use, word arrangement and selection, and transitions. Were body actions, pose, eye contact, posture, gestures, facial expression appropriate? And then they have an area for penalties that they outline. They can do that. First penalty that you would get is you had time allotment. You had 10 minutes on the prepared speech. And if you went over that, you got deducted a point for each fraction of a minute or a full minute. And then they had the second speech was a pre-selected, predetermined. They drew from 4 different categories of topics that they had to do off the top of their head. So it was pretty comprehensive, very well organized. So I want to congratulate Peter Bott. He's 15 years old, freshman in high school, homeschooled. His brother is fabulous as well. He finished second in our district competition.
Absolutely.
So he just stubbed his toe a little bit and didn't make it to the next level, but he would have probably been a finalist as well. But I tell you what, Peter is absolutely an amazing young man. Would you agree, Mark?
Absolutely. I mean, they both are, Stephen and Peter. But yeah, for 15 years of age, the way he handled himself and spoke about the Constitution, I hate saying this, please forgive me, America, but he sounded to the nth degree more profound than some of our folks that are elected officials that are in the House and the Senate. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll get off that soapbox, but he's very knowledgeable about our Constitution, which is impressive that he took the time to do that, because we all know they're not really teaching that in the school, unless I'm wrong, in public schools at least. correct me if I'm wrong out there, America, but I'll say that tongue in cheek. But what he knows is so profound at 15 that there's no telling what his next step's going to be. I mean, this person could, both of them can run for office, or I'm sure we're going to hear about them later on down the road.
Yeah, they're talented young men. They have a passion for their country, God, and the Constitution. So all the kids had some foundation in that area. But Peter's amazing, and I just wanted, we just want to honor him today. And those that are out there seeing this for the first time, tag and share this information with other people, because it may enlighten you a little bit to become a better student of what we have, the liberties we have, and the freedoms we have, what bases them.
Right.
The foundation of what we have. Many people just taking this for granted. We could lose all what we have overnight if we're not have an understanding of what the intention of the founding fathers had for the Constitution, our self-government, that we're a republic, not a democracy. And
that's a touchy subject.
Yeah. So we got to understand republic, democracy. So we are the sovereign, and we elect people to represent our sovereignty and our positions and our speech and our ideas collectively as lawmakers and runners of our government. So we won't get into the politics of that tonight, but I just encourage anybody out there seeing this, share it with other people. Take some time to look into the Constitution, whatever. Peters may be competing at the national level on this competition in May. I think the date's going to be, let me share it with you, is the May competition.
And his last name is B-O-T-T, correct, Tom?
That's correct.
Yep.
May 16th through the 18th, a two-day event up at Hillsdale College in Hillsdale, Michigan. So if you know anything about Hillsdale, they're all about the Constitution and education. So you can always look up Hillsdale. They got free courses on the Constitution. You can dabble into it, get aware of what's going on, get your what our founders, what they came up with, the brilliance that we have that guides us in our lives all the way down to the local level. Our Constitution is that profound. So take some time, share this out. Take some notes, go investigate the Constitution if you want to learn more. I encourage you to. And I'm proud to be an American Legion. We represented.
Are you a member of Post 91?
Post 91 Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Mine's 201.
Okay, yeah, you're a Legion, you're a veteran. Okay.
So yeah, and that's what's kind of neat about all this. I need to share it with our affiliate here at 201. I think some of the people enjoy listening to, what Peter has to say.
Yeah, I wonder if they had any competitors.
That's what I want to find out. Yeah, and now correct me if I'm wrong. This is the national level, right, Tom? He's going to. I mean,
yeah, the 2 in May will be the national competition. He's gone through 2 previous steps. This was the 3rd step. So did a Legion to Legion competition, then a district, and then this was all the districts. They broke off in groups. The winners of each one of those groups. Right. There are 3 different groups. Then they competed for the final to the national, and Peter won it. I was a little concerned when he was doing his assigned topic. That's a 5-minute speech. At 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, they put a card up. He went over 5 minutes.
Did he? Oh, okay.
5 minutes and 6 seconds. I mean, he nailed it. I mean, everything about him. I mean, there was no doubt that he was going to, in my opinion, he was going to win. Not out of bias, but just what do you call it? An open-minded decision. I think he had won it, but when he went over 5 minutes, there was a point deduction. I says that may have stubbed his toe because the other 2 kids were pretty damn good too. So
I remember when he was doing that, both of them, I think they went a little over, but that
Yeah.
was their very first, I guess, practice session.
Well, we've done a couple practices at our Legion meeting. We did it.
Right.
We had a practice session with the sponsors, the Legion sponsors. I was asked to help coach these kids. We had a wonderful woman in the that was an acting coach and a speech coach. Did most of the coaching on the technical
Right.
stuff, but of course third party evaluations. So I've seen their speeches 6 or 7 times. So we had a practice session to learn the process. The first session they were able to read their presentation. There's no written notes. There's no prompts. There's no, what do you call it that Biden used, teleprompters or anything like that.
Yeah, it's cold turkey, man. There ain't no
Yeah. So
that's
yeah,
what was kind of neat about even when they did it with us. I mean, they weren't reading a script so it was cool.
we got some comments here. See what we've got going on here. Hey, Robert, how you doing, bud? Hey, if you become a state, you'll have to learn the Constitution, right? Hey, Robert,
Hey,
thanks for
Robert,
jumping on.
Is that going to happen? I mean, does Canada really want to become a state? Tell us in the comments. I'm sure you will. Anyway.
Yeah, tag and share this out. But Mark, anything else you'd like to say before we play? It's to be a 10 minutes, less than a 10-minute speech.
Yeah, just real quick, Tom, and I won't take much time. I did put a post out, and I'm not going to elaborate on it. It's in my post about elevate your profits. Everybody in Peachtree Corners, I'm challenging you. Everybody at Peachtree Corners Business Association, I'm challenging you. So when I see you at our next meeting, the beauty of this with Stephen and Peter, they came up and presented themselves here on Elevate Your Profits, and look what happened. Not because of us, but if you have a book, a business venture, something you're passionate about, reach out to us. That's why I posted it in Facebook. Feel free. You can go direct to Tom. You can go direct to me. I don't care. We'd love to have you. Here's funny. Excuse me. You want to know something? It was a vocal therapist who helped my nephew achieve major breakthroughs with interpersonal communications. He is a high functioning on the spectrum. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. But getting back to that, feel free. It's every Monday. We normally hook up at 5:45. We start at 6. We're done about 6:45. Sometimes we go the full hour, and it's a great opportunity. Maybe you're working on something that you want to share with us. Maybe there's something out there about you we don't even know, but you want to share with everybody. It doesn't even have to be business related, although we do talk about money, and it's okay. We talk about dollars and cents, but we've had people that are authored. We have people that have been in the medical profession, technology, you name the industry. We pretty much had them on here. So, and that's why I'm reaching out to all my brothers and sisters at Peachtree Corners. Come on. I know you guys have businesses. I see you advertise all over the stratosphere. So don't be camera shy. Hop on board and promote yourself or promote your cause. Promote your book. It's okay.
Share the idea that may make a difference in somebody's life. That's what the foundation of this platform is. Not just about how to win in business, but it's your why, your purpose, the contribution that you're making to your community is what drives most people to success. So we'd love to hear your story. We never know the wisdom that you have, how it can make an impact in somebody's life in a very significant way. So we just encourage you to reach out to myself or Mark. We'll get you our guest checklist, determine a topic, schedule a date, and we rock and roll from there and help you any way we can, promote your message, your business any way we can. Last week we had Ernest on.
Yeah, have him back. He's a really unique person, and he's a giver, and he's into a lot of different things. Affiliate marketing is his mainstay. As he said, the bug bit him over 20 some odd years ago, and there's a lot of other things that people don't even know about Ernest that I got to know through hanging out with him, through affiliate marketing and things he shared with me. And there's a lot of talented people out there. That's the whole point. And Tom and I are here to learn from you. I mean, we are by no means the experts. And the fact that we come out here and do this, we ought to be hope for people that anybody can live stream. I mean, because we're not the best at it, but we just keep doing it, and maybe one day we'll get it right. What do you think, Tom?
Practice makes better, right? There's nothing called perfect. It's called perfect practice, but
I think what Tom said here, if you don't know your why, you're going to lose your way. And that's something I picked up from Tom and everybody else. They always talk about their why. So give us a shout out, and climb on board. Okay, now Robert says, however, the current PM did respond in a correct manner when a young lad, I love that term, lad, asked him how to become successful by saying, a politician is the last person you should be asking about that. There's a joke about how can you tell it's really cold outside when a politician has his hands in his own pocket. That's how you can kind of tell. Because usually they got them in our pockets. I'm kidding around, everybody, but you got to have a sense of humor, regardless of your political affiliation. Which I think right now I'm enjoying both sides of the fence, watching how people perform, our elected officials. It amazes me.
yeah, and evaluate what they're saying. Is it in relationship to the Constitution, or are they deviating it, or trying to destroy it? That's my foundation of how I start evaluating their policies and what they want to do, what they want to help the American people accomplish. Is it constitutional? Is it in the best interest of all the people? And where founders had set it up. So that's how I evaluate where are they constitutionally.
Right.
Because ultimately, that's the foundation that this whole thing sits on, is the Constitution. You can promise stuff that sounds good, but it's not constitutionally correct. We're in trouble. Yeah. And I think Peter's little speech today about, which we'll start here in a moment, is about equality under the Constitution. And we're guaranteed equal rights, equal opportunity, but the outcomes are not guaranteed because everybody has a different level of knowledge, understanding, talent, skills, or whatever. So we're not guaranteed to have the same outcomes. And a lot of people think that equality is equity is equality, interchangeable. They're not.
Yes.
We need equality to have the same opportunity, but doesn't guarantee we're going to get the same results. So, but anyway, that's going to be Peter's talk here. We're going to turn it on here in a second. But Mark, what are you grateful for today?
I am grateful for the fact that I'm here today. I had a great weekend. Had an opportunity yesterday really to witness a football coach after about 40 some years. I'll give a shout out to him, Keith Malouf. He coached both my boys, and very thankful for that. He's a good man, and he's a grandfather over a few times, and he's going to kick back. I won't say enjoy life. I'm sure he's got other projects that he and his wife are going to do, but I was kind of cool to see all that, and to see now these kids that were in high school, now they're young men and they're in finance or in this, they're 27, 24. And, they come up to you and say, hey, Mr. Gassert, how you doing? And you're just, holy crap. They got big. They're very mature. It's just kind of wild to see how things transition. And there's a lot of great people out there. I will say this, everybody slams on younger people, but what I'm seeing in their 20s, there's some superstars coming up here, at least around where I'm living. And I'm impressed, and not just athletically. We've got another young man that is at the Naval Academy, and he'll be graduating this year. And these people making some serious commitments at a young age. It's very impressive, I think.
Yeah. You know, those that precede us, our generation, probably wondering if we'd ever be a contributor to good. And,
Right.
you know, I tell you what, by watching these young people prepare and get ready for the speech with the amount of work they put into it, they're passionate about it. It instills a lot of confidence, hope in what we call the next generation that'll be responsible for all that we have, and so that's encouraging. You know, without putting anything negative on those that are just coming up through the ranks of life. That's what I'm grateful for today. Is that I had an opportunity to help be part of Peter's success by being there to coach him and counsel him and encourage him, have him come on to help build that confidence to a whole different audience. Have Rex Sykes, put his professional insight on him, and he picked up some of this stuff. So what you see today is phenomenal. But he was on a live stage where he had more movement than we have here on the camera. But he nailed it with the way he delivered his body language, his pacing on the stage, and how he engaged the audience with eye contact and physical.
I would have seen that to see him live, because it's different.
Yeah, totally different. But tonight's presentation is more about the content, and you can see that he's prepared quite a bit for it. So he'll be talking about equality under how the four founders intended equality to be meant and be applied in our Constitution. So without any further ado, I'm going to take these banners down so we don't have any distractions. I'm going to bring him up.
There he is, coming up. That's the man. Good-looking young man there.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and thumbs up, Mark, if you can hear him fine.
Sure, I will.
Okay. This is a replay from our last interview we did with him. When was that? Back in end of January?
January, yes.
Yeah, end of January, because the first competition was in February, and he's done two others, and then this last one. Now he's going to the Nationals in Hillsdale. That's going to be cool. If my knee surgery is progressing well, I plan on probably going to Hillsdale to hear him speak at the Nationals. That'll be cool for 2 days. So that's my intention.
Good deal.
Here we go. Peter Bott, Equality, the Constitution, Oracle.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. End quote. This foundational principle was laid in the Declaration of Independence. Yet today, many twist this founding principle, saying that for society to flourish, we all must be equal in social and economic standing. We've seen this lately in the COVID handouts, college debt forgiveness, minimum wage hikes, and the push for diversity and inclusion, all in the name of equity. In fact, this is the only lens through which my generation understands America. We don't see Americans flourishing, for the loss of personal responsibility is destroying our nation. This speech shows the founders' true principle of equality. I'll be doing this through three main points. First, the Constitution upholds equal rights. Second, our government has strayed from this idea. And third, equity hurts the people it aims to help. So first of all, the Constitution upholds equal rights. It clearly states that the role of the government is to uphold equal rights for all people. Yet it prohibits the government from providing any other kind of equality. Though the idea of government-supported equity was rampant at the time of the founders, they could see its mortal flaw. John Adams, after a trip to France, wrote, quote, that all men are born to equal rights is true, but to teach that all men are born with equal powers and faculties, to equal influence, to equal property and advantages throughout life is a gross fraud. End quote. since everyone has drastically different opportunities, strengths, and interests. When equal rights provide freedom, everyone will have drastically different opportunities and achievements. As Alexander Hamilton noted, quote, inequality would exist as long as liberty existed. It would unavoidably result from that very liberty itself. End quote. James Madison argued in the Federalist Paper number 10 that the first object of government was the, quote, protection of the different and unequal powers of acquiring property. End quote. The rights of private property are even explicitly stated in the Fifth Amendment. Quote, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. End quote. Either the government violates the rights of some people in order to provide equal outcomes for all, or it upholds equal rights, and recognizes that equal outcomes will not ensue. My brother and I work with my grandpa on his farm. My brother's good at organizing and planning ahead, so Stephen's always in charge of what's going on. I felt this was needless, for I assumed I could do just as well. Yet when my younger brother came and I was in charge, I realized that I didn't have the same abilities to lead, and things didn't turn out as well. However, my grandpa recognizes that I have a natural affinity for machinery. When it's time to diagnose a mechanical problem or even run the excavator, he calls me. You see, Grandpa recognizes our equal value, yet he knows we are not the same. Equal rights don't mean equal outcomes. Living within our natural abilities has allowed us to flourish together. However, we have forgotten this today. Our government has strayed from the idea of equal rights. This is my Here's the story. In 1795, the Supreme Court ruled, quote, the legislation had no authority to make an act divesting one citizen of his freehold and investing it in another. It is contrary to the principles of social alliance in every free government and to the letter and spirit of the Constitution. End quote. This precedent, end quote. Less than 50 years after this, Davy Crockett was among the first to slip from this ideal. Crockett, as a representative, promoted dispersing relief funds for those whose houses had burned down. This action caused considerable commotion, as he later reported. One farmer even went so far as to claim that Crockett had, quote, not the capacity to understand the Constitution, end quote. The man reasoned with him that Congress had no right to give the charity, but instead that individual citizens may give as much as they please. That giving this comparatively small sum could have drastic consequences. For, quote, once Congress begins to stretch its power beyond the limits of the Constitution, there is no limit to it and no security for the people. End quote. Less than 50 years after this, President Grover Cleveland, to justify his veto of an early federal welfare system, stated, quote, I can find no warrant for such an appropriation in the Constitution. Though the people support the government should not support the people. This precedent held until the 1936 Supreme Court Butler case, which responded to one of FDR's New Deal reforms. This ruling looked to Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, which reads, quote, the Congress shall have the power to provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. Quote. The court said that the government could levy taxes in order to redistribute wealth, all in the name of the general welfare. But this is invalid because the Constitution clarifies later on which specific powers provide for both the common defense and general welfare. The common defense is not a police force, but instead refers to Army and Navy. In like manner, the general welfare is not charity or anything at all that promotes well-being, but instead 17 specific powers, excluding all others. Following this warped interpretation, more social programs ballooned. FDR's programs arose in the context of the Great Depression. During the Civil Rights Movement, President Lyndon B. Johnson wanted to provide an equal end place for those set back by discrimination. Not only were the laudable goals of these presidents not achieved through the methods they established, today, this push for equity has led ever farther from the constitutional bounds where the founding ideal was strictly equal rights. And now I'd like to move on to my third and final point. Equity hurts the people it seeks to help. Today, nearly everyone qualifies for some form of government aid, but we see how this kind of social support has actually hurt groups of people in the past. Jason Riley, a Black American, explains the detrimental effects of these programs in his own community. In his book titled, "Please Stop Helping Us," he describes how the push to guarantee school success for all lowered the expectations and thus the outcomes. The aid designed to help single mothers demotivated families from staying together. The minimum wage requirements, instead of raising the income of poor people, kept them from being hired. And the soft on crime approach, instead of keeping men out of jail, made their neighborhoods prime targets for criminals. Just after the Civil War, Booker T. Washington recommended a different approach. He established a school for former slaves where he foremost wanted them to develop character as well as skill. He said, quote, "I have learned that success is not to be measured so much as the position one has achieved in life, as by the obstacles through which he has overcome. For out of that hard and unusual struggle through which he is compelled to pass, he gets a strength, a confidence that one misses whose pathway is comparatively smooth." Think of the determination of our ancestors in the face of immense obstacles, the sacrifices made to bring about our country's freedom, their loyalty in the tribulation of the Civil War, their tenacity in the poverty of the Great Depression, and the selfless courage they maintained through both world wars. I truly believe we stand where we are today because of the character the American people gained through these obstacles. Consequently, I scorn the unconstitutional federal aid programs designed to insulate my generation from such character-building trials necessary for true success. Let us heed the words of President John F. Kennedy. Quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." Thank you.
He delivered beautifully when we entered him the first time, but when he was on stage, it was a whole different energy that came off of his presentation. So he grew, he got better and better and better. And by the time he gets ready for the Nationals, he may be untouchable, in my opinion. He's pretty talented, especially when it comes to the assigned topic where they draw something and then you have to talk about it. You got 5 minutes to prepare and you got 5 minutes to deliver your speech on that. So well-versed, well-educated young man. And any comments you'd like to make on equity, equality? You're muted, Mark.
I didn't want to make any noise during that speech. I'm sorry. At 15, he nailed it. I wasn't even anywhere near what he's able to do and speak. You know, Peter is just he's leaps and bounds probably above most 15-year-olds. Not that there aren't a bunch of talented kids, but when he talked about what equity, equality, you know, he pointed out the differences, and I was impressed.
I loved his brother's skills and his skills,
right,
the analogies of
and they grew up. helping their grandfather on the farm and all
Yeah.
that. I think that's cool. They definitely have a work ethic. I mean, that the sky's the limit for them. I mean, you can't tell them no. I mean, that's what I was thinking about listening. Like, they are probably not afraid of anything. Like, you could tell them, well, there's 5,000 people out there. Okay, well, I'll just go out and do my speech. You know what I'm saying, though? That's probably how they look at it.
Yeah.
Or just like, gee, do I want to go live? Oh my God, I'm going to look at a camera and there's a mic in front of me. People get really weird when there's a camera in front of them, how they handle themselves, articulate themselves, instead of just being you. But no, I would say that if he doesn't win it, he's got to be at that age group. He's got to be one of the top, 3 to 5 speakers they're going to have. I could be wrong, but he just handled himself very well.
And some of the judges that were there, one was a professor of law, professor of
I was
Constitution.
going to ask that. Yeah.
Another judge had a law firm, so he was a judge. These are all American Legion members. One judge was also an assembly person's what do you call it, legal advisor or whatever the case may be for the state legislature, as a judge, a teacher, professor. So they had to get through the hoops of knowledge. They had some pretty knowledgeable people on the Constitution beyond anything I can comprehend. So, but
Did you get to hear any of their comments? I didn't mean to interrupt you. My apologies, but did they vocalize any of their comments?
No.
That would have been awesome to hear what they thought about, the kids. I mean,
yeah, their job was strictly to tabulate
sure,
that and not show any bias or anything. All the kids did great. The former past state commander of Wisconsin's American Legion did a speech to these kids and just really compliment them on where they're at and where they're going to go. But he closed out his speech to the kids this way. He says, in life, you'll be seeking happiness, but stop and look around. You may be there now. And that's how he ended his speech.
Nice.
We're seeking happiness, but pause. You may be there now. But it was really a great event. I was honored to be able to go and be part of the support team for Peter and his brother. His dad's a professor at a small Jesuit Christian college nearby here. Yeah, so it has strong.
Well, there's those disciplines then. If his dad's teaching at a Jesuit college, yeah. So,
yeah,
I'm impressed. Yeah.
So, yeah, they did wonderful. I'm just so proud of those two guys, and the two brothers are competitive. They speak in some other speech.
I was going to ask. Yeah. So, yeah, I could see that, but I know this sounds really weird, Tom, but I could see these guys partnering together on projects. That's just when we met both of them. You met them before me, but when I saw them, that always kind of runs through my mind. I mean, I could see these guys doing stuff together, to help their respective communities, and that'd be kind of neat. And see where they're at, like 10 years from now. What are they doing? That'd be kind of
keep you abreast on what's happening, where they're going to go to school, and some of the things they want to major in and that. So, and I always want to thank those that are watching live, those are watching the replay. Make any comments, share this information out, because I think that the content of what he shared with is something people should start looking at in an evaluation of what we hear politically in this world. I think he did a great job of clarifying equity and equality. So,
Kind of wild times here.
Yeah. Well, Mark, that was
But
it.
no,
We
that
got a
was
short meeting tonight. We got.
yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
That's it. And I'm once again, I'll just throw the gauntlet down here. Peachtree Corners, is supposed to be and is the peachiest place on the planet to live. I know there's businesses out there, and I did a little rant on Friday. I know there's a lot of building projects. I know there's developers. I know there's politicians. So, feel free to reach out to us. And you can even get a hold of me. Some of you guys that are local, stop by the Peachtree Corners Business Association. It's usually the second Tuesday of every month, and it begins at 8:30. It's a coffee. You can come as a guest. You can come as my guest. Get a cup of coffee. If you can't make it, you can get it virtually. But I'm teasing you. But you can have some little snacks and stuff, and it's a great way to meet people. And I know Tom's big on this, and I think you're seeing more of a trend now where people want to get out and about and talk to people, and like trade shows are really kicking it. They're doing fabulous, which they should. We've come out of all that nonsense from 2 years ago, and even businesses, restaurants. It's good to see them up and about and doing their thing. Although I wish your prices would go down, but I know they never will. That includes retail as well. And I kiddingly say that with a smile. But other than that, that's all I have to say, Tom. And I really appreciate you sharing this again.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to recognize Peter where they're at. Won the state. That's how many kids participated. We had 13 in Saturday's event. So how many other kids didn't make it to that next level? So there's a lot of talented out there that pecking up the order and refining your skills and knowledge is quite impressive. So
I was just going to ask you, Tom, how many kids participated out of your post? Was it just those two boys, or were there
those two?
Okay.
Out of our post, and other posts had one or two, and they went through the same process, qualifying through the local districts all the way up to where we were Saturday.
And how many females participated in this as well?
And there were 13, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 girls.
Tremendous. That is tremendous.
One made it to the finals.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Very talented.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Knowledgeable. Yeah. So quite impressed with all the kids. It's unfortunate we have to have a winner and a loser in that type of situation, but it's the reality of competition. So
it's almost like a political campaign, man. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose.
Like in the judging scores, is no ties permitted. So it's.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right? So no ties are permitted. You got to find some way.
I'm sure these judges are pretty serious when they're.
Oh yeah, you should have seen the paperwork they were taking notes on and tallying and stuff, and so this is just the basics. Then they had more information sub that they were looking for and grading them on.
Oh my goodness.
Giving points for their performance. So pretty well organized. This is 88th year.
Right. Well, Peter's parents have got to be proud of him, and actually proud of Stephen as well. And I just want to, even though he didn't go that far, in my book, he's a winner, because the fact that he got up there to pontificate the finer points of a document that's been around for a few years, that takes some real courage, particularly at when you're 15 or 17.
Yeah. And
I was impressed with the knowledge that they both possessed. I mean, I was like, I could see those guys in DC one day being a politician, or you never know. That's what I'm saying. You just never know. I mean, that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they're leaders, they're doers. They give 100% and more. to what they do. So, well, with that, my friend,
Well, this
another
is
elevate your profits.
actually, we stopped. It's about 6:47, so we're doing well. So that's about what we say, 45 minutes. So we're 47 minutes over the,
No penalty for time, okay?
Yeah, there's no red light going off or going crazy. Hey,
Yeah.
Tom, just real quick, what if you don't mind me asking, and if you don't want to share, can you share with people what you're getting ready to do as far as your health, which what you're getting ready to partake on this journey, which is not fun.
2 weeks from today, I'm having surgery.
Mm,
My right knee replacement surgery.
wow.
Yeah. So it's been, so that's scheduled, and then get through the recovery, and then probably fall do my other leg because it's bone on bone as well. So getting up and down stairs is like but going to Ripon College, I had to walk upstairs to get to the meeting hall, and I didn't know if I was going to make it. I tell you, they didn't have any handicap ramps or anything like that.
Oh, wow.
It was all stairs. So it was step holding onto the rail. That's how bad my knees are, so I can't wait for a successful outcome on that, and getting prepped for that now, doing my daily exercises and stretches and all that. I'm on a journey to lose an extra 5 or 6 pounds, to take that extra weight off my knee as well.
Right.
And so that's an important factor in recovery and staying healthy. Need to lose some weight here anyway. So, so that's happening 2 weeks from today, the 14th of April.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got, Tom. And I just want to say thanks, Robert, for your comments. And anybody out there listening, do feel free to share this, like Tom said. I think it's valuable content. Others may shy away from it and say, hey, it's a waste. But you can always let us know how we're doing. We're big boys. We can take it. So you can tell us, hey, your show is crap. You don't bring any value, and we'll adjust accordingly. Or why don't you do more of this or that? Give us some suggestions. But like I said, don't hesitate to reach out to Tom or myself. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah. So, with that all said, we'll do our closeout, and everybody have a blessed day. We're grateful that you're able to see this, and we'll be even more grateful when you share it. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.